Hi, Redesert Boy here. I just thought I would take a few minutes today, and I've been talking about alternatives during these times when maybe we can't find um, the guns or the firearms that we want to have. Maybe we have things in our inventory sometimes that could maybe even be updated. And so I'm here to talk to you about today. When I did my gun store chaos video, I showed you different guns. One of them was remember, these are for my situation, for what works for me. These are my opinions and what I value is working for me. You need to do your own research. You need to talk to your own experts, your own certified experts and people for what would work best for you. And make sure always that you're in compliance with all your local, state, and federal firearms laws, ordinances, rules, and anything to do with transport, carry, concealed carry, or your magazine capacities and so forth. Make sure you're in compliance with that. So what we're going to talk about today is one of the rifles that I showed you was for me, for home defense. It's my option. I was showing you a 357-38 with a red dot, a 3x magnifier, Picatinny rail. But what if you didn't have that? What if you maybe you had a basic hunting rifle like the Howa 1500 and 270 Winchester that I showed you? Well, there are options for that. It just happens at Howa, which when I bought it, I think I had read about this, but I'd never thought about it. But as an interim step, sometimes you need to have something that maybe would increase your capacity or make reloading it easier. And so we're going to talk about that for a minute today. And one of the things we're going to look at is the detachable long-action magazine conversion kit for the Howa 1500. Basically what this is, it's just a drop-in kit that allows you to use detachable magazines. The Howa has a floor plate type magazine, a box magazine where you load it from the top, one shell at a time under the scope. Not the most rapid reloading way to use it. Also, as it comes, you can buy it with 5 or 10 round magazines, depending on what might be allowed by your state. If it's allowed at all, you need to check and see what your local, federal, and state firearms laws allow. There are many states that they won't ship these to, but it's still up to you to know what the laws are. And then I also bought a 5-round magazine and another 10-round magazine. So it gave me 2 10-round and a 5-round magazine, which for my purposes I felt was a little bit extra capacity and reloadability in the event of more difficult times ahead, which we hope none of that will come as we all face this challenge with the virus and so forth that's going on. So with that, let's go ahead. This is not a how-to video. There are some really good how-to videos out there. I bought these through Legacy Sports International, which you get to through the Howa USA website. But I will show you the before and after. And in case you don't remember how it looks like, let me show it to you. So if you don't remember, this is the Howa 1500. This one happens to be in 270 Winchester, which is a long action. And that's what we will be looking at updating today. We'll check it unloaded. And also this has a floor plate release as well, so that we can make sure we don't have any ammo in here. And the weapon's been safety checked. So we'll go ahead and we'll update it. Another thing I just would like to mention is, once again, we're putting this long action magazine conversion kit for the Howa 1500 into it. And there was one other thing I had to do when I was working on some of this stuff was just let that, okay. So one other thing that I had to do when I went to go do this conversion was I didn't have something like this 9-in-1 Torx head type nut driver. It had the T30 type head I needed. I bought that actually from Home Depot for about 12 something plus shipping. And this is a Wheeler torque wrench. It does it in inch pounds, which can be very handy if you're doing modifications. I guess a lot of people use these when they're being, trying to make sure they're not overly stressing, attaching your scopes and things like that. And so this one was about 59 bucks plus tax, and both of them had shipping, of course. And it had a 10-bit set that came with it. So those are some things I had to buy in order to be able to do this little project. Once again, this isn't a how-to project. There's plenty of videos out there showing you how to do it. I'm just going to show you the before and after. Just one other thing, looking at this kit, Howa 1500, fits Howa M1500, Weatherby Vanguard, Mossberg 1500, Smith & Wesson M1500. And this particular one is for the floor plate and a 10-round magazine for a 270, 2506, or 30-06 kit. They have different kits also for things like the 6.5 by 55, the 300 Win Mag, 338 Win Mag, 7mm Win Mag. They're a different kit than this one. There's also some for the smaller calibers. So just something to realize. My understanding is these are made by a company called Adaptive Technologies Incorporated, and so Legacy Sports International happened to be who I got this one from. This kit was about, if I remember right, by the time it was $69, and each of the magazines were $46, but with tax and shipping and all that, this plus an extra magazine was about $135 or so, and then an extra magazine they shipped separately was about $60, so it's just under $200 to do this particular upgrade. So Desert Boy again, and once again we can see we got new mags in here. These are empty. All these magazines that I have here are empty, and we can check and see that our weapon is empty. No magazine in there, and it doesn't matter whether we put in the 5-round magazine here, which is seated, right? And pull that out and put the I don't know whether you can see that or not. You can put the 10-round magazine in. It's seated, right? Pull that out. Put in another 10-round magazine, which happens to be empty. Always helps to get it in the right way for those of us who don't use magazines a lot of the time. So you can see that's locked in there and operational. Gun's unsafe. So in the time that I was shooting this video, it didn't take me, but I think about 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, including reviewing the video, which is about 5 minutes long online. So anyway, something to consider as an interim step, maybe if you're trying to come up with new capacity and you just want to have something like that, or maybe I bought the 5-round magazine because I know in some states there's restrictions on hunting for different size magazines, and I haven't had any trouble with this so far. Here it's seated. And some states, maybe you can't use 10-round magazines. My original capacity was 5+1, so this is a 5-round magazine. So I got a 5-rounder for that reason. Also, that was the main reason. I got the 10-rounders for the obvious reason, which is increased capacity. Does it? It increases. So you think about it before. In order for us to load this, we had to load the shells in through here because this was a top-down type box-fed box magazine with a floor plate. Now we don't have to do that. Now we can just use these magazines here to change it out. So that's just one thought, you know, if you need some kind of interim way to maybe increase your capacity. You know, obviously a 270 is going to pack a little bit of punch to be firing, you know, repeated rounds with, or anything larger, 30-06 or the other sizes. But they also have these kits that go down into the, I think, 22, 250, and 243 size, and they're the short action ones. This happens to be the long action kit, so you need to make sure you get the right one and the right magazines. So with increased capacity and some increased ability to reload it as far as reloadability, the real test will come when we take it out to the range. I had some ways to test it to make sure everything was operable okay, but you know, that's where the real test comes. So once again, as I always say as Desert Boy, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much.